What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Let's get right into it and let's discuss everything. Everything from the Nuggets versus Lakers series that just ended yesterday. Let's talk about the future for the Nuggets going to the finals, the future for the Lakers. Should LeBron retire? Will he retire? Let's talk about the Lakers trade options. Let's talk about D'Angelo Russell. Let's talk about the Celtics versus the Heat and a couple more things as well involved with NBA. So let's get into it, guys. So I wanted to do a bunch of different videos today, but time and all that stuff. So I can't do 4 videos talking about the Nuggets future, talking about the Lakers future, a separate one about LeBron's future, a separate one about the Lakers trade options, So I want to do a mini little podcast here today. Keep you here maybe around 15, 20 minutes somewhere that's my goal time, to stop around that time. So let's start with the Nuggets. The winner of last night's series, the Nuggets defeat and sweep the Lakers 4-0. It was a good series. Pretty good series. Every matchup, every game in this matchup was close. Was no blowouts. And Jokic and Murray were fantastic. The role players were fantastic. My prediction was Lakers in 6 or Nuggets in 7. Same for the Lakers versus Warriors series. I thought the longer the series go, the Lakers were going to be worst off. I knew from the get-go from the Memphis series that LeBron was not going to be, old LeBron from years ago. He's going to be old LeBron of 38 years old. He's going to be having the time himself, time his explosiveness, time his, aggressiveness, I definitely thought as the series wanes, the Lakers' chances got worse and worse with the Warriors and Nuggets series respectively. But this one didn't even get there. The Nuggets beat them out 4-0. As I said earlier, Jokic, best player in the world. Plain and simple. I did a video after Tatum and the Celtics beat the Sixers. Tatum dropped 51, 52. But I did a video. Was it? I don't know. I forgot. Was it a full video or was it a YouTube short? But I did something, and it was basically saying, if Giannis's crown is up for grabs, the best player in the world, Tatum has a shot to take it. If he plays well versus the Heat, if he plays well in the finals, Tatum could be crowned best player in the world after this whole playoff run. Well, we all know now Heat are up 3-0. Tatum hasn't played particularly great, and then Jokic has played amazing versus Bron versus AD in that Lakers squad. He just torched them. Him and Murray torched them. So I think it's fair to say right now, if it is up for grabs, um, Jokic is the best player in the world. Plain and simple. Plain and simple there. So, and I've been saying this too I haven't said it on video yet. I've been saying it to my friends and some of my coworkers. My thing is, it felt like, the NBA wanted to give Embiid his MVP trophy, but it felt like Embiid wanted the MVP more than he wanted playoff success. And that's the weird thing to me. Jokic, if he would have won 3 straight, fine. But we know voters and fans have fatigue, have MVP voting. I can't even talk. We know fans and the league and the voters have MVP voting fatigue. They don't want the best player in the world to win the MVP too many times or straight. If it was, LeBron would have won a couple straight, Kobe would have won a couple straight, stuff like that. So, you can't win more than 2 or 3 times straight, mainly 2. If you get more than 2, then it's probably not going to happen. So the runner-up will probably win it. So Jokic was deservingly, in my opinion, to win the 3rd straight. Didn't happen clearly. They gave it to Embiid, but Jokic is clearly the best player in the world. There's no question about it. So that's my thing there. But my prediction as well, as I said earlier, Lakers in 6. But I did say if the Nuggets win in 7, my biggest X factor for the Nuggets was Aaron Gordon. I thought Aaron Gordon would have been a big X factor, big body, versatile, great cutter, decent defense, strong rebounder, and he was good. But the X factor to me were all the role players. Aaron Gordon, KCP, Bruce Brown. Oh my gosh, Bruce Brown for the first 2 or 3 games was phenomenal. KCP phenomenal. Great defense, great perimeter defense, great 3-point shooting, timely shots. It's like, man, when the moment got brightest, everyone for the Nuggets stepped up. That's the wild thing about it. So, I said shout out to the Nuggets. They did their thing. I said in that prediction video also, whoever wins this series, Nuggets or Lakers, whoever wins this series, and if they come out of this series fully healthy, which the Nuggets did, and they're getting a lot of rest too. Whoever wins this series is going to win the whole thing. I thought the winner would come from the West, regardless who wins between Warriors, Nuggets, or Lakers. Nuggets won, obviously. I think they beat the Heat or the Celtics. Probably the Heat. They'll beat the Heat. They should play the Heat. But if some reason, some miraculous happen, I think the Nuggets will beat the Celtics or the Heat in the finals, probably in five. I'll give the Heat a fighting chance, at least one game, but they might get swept also. The Nuggets are just a buzzsaw. They're going crazy right now. So, that's the thing there. So, shout out to the Nuggets. They played amazing. On to the Lakers. Um, just a tough, like I said, just tough. He ran to a buzzsaw. The biggest thing to me, honestly, was AD had to be phenomenal all 4 games. He had great stretches. But the thing for me was they need to have a better backup. And Mo Bamba was out until game 4. Would he have been a difference? Probably not. But they've needed, like how the bubble was, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee to pair along with or to pair behind Anthony Davis. And in my prediction video also prior to the series, I said Tristan Thompson should be a factor. We saw him in the fourth quarter last night versus the Nuggets. Had some decent moments, but I thought he would have played more often. He's not quite a shot blocker. He's smaller size, 6'9", 6'10", but he's a tough rebounder, decent defender, and another body on a guy like Jokic, who could have gave him a little bit of problem for a little stretch here or there. So as I said, I thought the Lakers would win not because of Thompson, but I thought he could have played a decent role, and I even called for Thompson to start 1 or 2 games, or at least start at center, give AD Aaron Gordon, and bump everyone down one position. So LeBron at the 3, Reeves at the 2, and Russell at or whoever starts the point guard is at the 1. I thought that could have been possible. And I saw some people agree with me, but I thought Thompson could have started and got some early work on Jokic. So, but that's just my personal take. But they ran to a buzzsaw, simple as that, so there's nothing much you can really say about it. I'm going to get into D'Lo a little later, but on to the Lakers' future. And one thing too, they had a heck of a season. To start 2-10, to reroute your whole roster, to bring in all the guys that they brought in, to Austin Reeves progressing and being a pretty good player, to Rui stepping up, like these guys played well, So they had an awesome season, but the future is looking iffy. I don't know how. I don't know what's to come for the Lakers. That's the weird thing about it. Will LeBron retire? Should he retire? I've been seeing out there on Twitter all morning. I'm just getting off work now, so it's about noon time now, so noon Eastern time. So seeing all this stuff, I'm kind of late on everything, but trying to catch up. I've seen Bron. The rumor is, or some people are saying not a rumor, but some people saying on social media, Bron should retire for 1 year, rehab, rest, get surgery on his foot, and then come back, pick his team and stuff like that, and see where he wants to go, pair with Bronny. It sounds good, but I don't know. We don't. First thing, we don't know the extent of LeBron's injury for his foot. The other thing is, if he does retire for a year, I'm pretty sure the Lakers still have his rights for one more season, if I'm not mistaken. He would have to get surgery and just sit for the full year for him to lose that year off his contract he owes the Lakers. So that's not really plausible in my opinion, if I'm not mistaken. And then we've also seen Bron lately say, if Bronny don't want to play with him, if that's in his plans, but if not in Bronny's plans to play with him, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's a telltale sign to me that Bronny might spend a couple years in college. With Brian saying that a couple of weeks ago about he wanted to play with Bronny, but Bronny, if something changed with Bronny, then it is what it is. I think Bronny might enjoy college a little bit and stay a couple years. Bronny isn't a top prospect in my opinion. I think if he comes out, if he plays, I think Bronny, if he plays the best of his abilities his first year, I think he can be a top 20, top 25 pick, late first round. He's not going to be an early first rounder. He's not a dominant player. He's a good role player, come off the bench, sixth man, seventh man, or a spot starter, or a solidified starter in certain teams. But he's not a star player, so he's not a lottery pick. I think Bronny goes top 25, late first, early second, and he makes his mark there, But so I could definitely see Bronny staying in college, staying in USC for a couple years, getting good NIL money, because he's his own man, and me being a father as well, and I plan on being rich and wealthy one day as well. That's my goal. But I would like for my kid, the money's always ours. I'm gonna share with my kids, no problem about that. But the thing is, I would want my family, my kids to want for themselves too. And if Bronny can make reportedly around $7 to $6 million for the NIL for 2 years, that's $12 million by himself, just alone in college, and then you do your thing, or maybe three. And even if he does pan out the first year, he gets more money. You know what I mean? So I could see Bronny staying more than 1 year. That pushes LeBron's clock back a year, and it's tough. It is tough. We've seen LeBron struggle with, trying to make deep playoff runs this year, and it's just tough. If AD doesn't play phenomenal versus the Grizzlies, they lose that series. If AD doesn't play well, or if the Warriors were better than what their roster was, they would have lost the series. You know what I mean? So I think all in all, the possibility of LeBron retiring, I think is kind of real. It just depends on, Bronny. It depends on how bad his foot is. And it depends on what the Lakers want to do or what the Lakers will do this offseason. Now, going to the Lakers trade options. The rumor right now is that broke about 2 hours ago was the Lakers had internal discussions on Trae Young. We saw Trae Young courtside last night, Game 4 versus the Nuggets in LA. I think he came to a couple Lakers games. We seen Kyrie at a couple Laker games throughout their playoff run. So it's interesting. It definitely is interesting. But players in the offseason do live in LA, so it makes sense. But it is interesting. Trae Young, 24 years old. Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer has said, I want to say a couple months back, that the Hawks' new management has given the Hawks' new ownership, I believe, given the Hawks management full green light to do what they want to do with the roster. So if they do want to trade Trae Young, they can definitely do that. The thing is, the problem with that is, I don't know if the Lakers have enough to get Trae Young. That's kind of a tough move for me, honestly. Trae Young's 24, supposedly not even in his prime yet. But who would you give up for him? Trade for D'Lo, trade your first round picks, and who else? Who else would warrant getting Trae Young? I think you need a lot more than D'Lo and a couple first round picks, and maybe Rui or somebody. I think you need more than that. So that doesn't quite seem plausible to me. Kyrie thing, it sounds good. I don't think so. I like Zach LaVine. That's my number one option. Zach LaVine played at UCLA. He fits what the Lakers want in that combo guard perfectly. And I'm getting to D'Lo in a few minutes, but Zach LaVine, if he's available in his prime right now, good combo guard, great offensively, he would not have struggled as bad as D'Lo did, guaranteed. And if his shot was struggling, he don't mind driving in and getting a tough bucket, unlike D'Lo. So I would definitely think Zach LaVine would be an upgrade from D'Angelo Russell. He's a good spot up shooter as well, good catch shooter, good catch and shoot player. So he's used to it all, playing with DeRozan, playing with Lonzo, playing with Alex Caruso. He doesn't have to be ball dominant at all times. Also, like Russell, who doesn't have to be either. So I think he'll be a great upgrade. He's more physical than D'Angelo Russell. Both aren't great defenders, so you're not missing anything there. But the only thing is with LaVine is the nagging knee injuries. The reports were this year he dealt with some knee discomfort, so we'll see where that goes long term. So out of Kyrie, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, and Dame, throwing Dame too, I think the best option is to go with Zach LaVine if they were to make a trade. But I could definitely see the Lakers staying put. I really do. It makes sense just to stay put, relax. I know LeBron might want Kyrie. LeBron might want that, and D'Lo played horrible. And in my fact, I'll go ahead and segue into D'Lo now. D'Lo played horrible, right? He played horrible through the whole Western Conference Finals. But the thing is, the free agent market this year is so limited on above average players. I don't think it really hurt D'Lo chances of getting some big money. That's the funny thing about it. D'Lo played horrible, but he's shown enough in the past and other moments during the playoff run. I think D'Lo still gets a big bag from the Lakers or from somebody else. So it sounds good for the Lakers to get Kyrie. It sounds good for them to get Zach LaVine, them to get Trae Young, them to get Dame. But I think there's a strong possibility that D'Angelo Russell's back with the Lakers next season as their starting point guard. And he's a good player. I grew up on, not grew up on him, but I grew up, I think early high school watching D'Angelo Russell at Mount Verdi. I'm a lefty. I wanted to play guard. Me and him are the same height, but I'm bigger. I played lineman, in high school. So they had me at a center because of my body. I'm short. I'm 6 foot, but I'm 6 foot, 6'1", but, broad shoulders, big body, and I'm athletic. So they had me at center. But I always wanted to be a guard. I'm a lefty. I can shoot a little bit. So, I always and tend to like lefty players. So I had an affinity towards D'Angelo Russell, but I will say he looked terrible. He looked great in that closeout game versus Memphis. He had some good moments during the Golden State series, but he was terrible. I think he was outscored by Jamal Murray by 80 something points. As far as their totals for the whole series. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it was, 81 points or 82 points. So I read that somewhere today or last night. So it's tough. It's tough, but he plays so bad, he still might get a pretty big bag. He probably will get a pretty big bag somewhere. So there's that there. So that's really it for the Lakers, my Lakers topic. I just think they're in a tough spot. You bring back Reeves for sure, 100%. Probably at $20 million per year. You bring back Rui 100%. And like I said, you probably bring back D'Lo. As much as it sounds crazy, it sounds insane, but you probably bring back D'Lo too. I think you do. Bring back Vanderbilt and just go ahead and rock out and see what you can do from there. Unless Kyrie takes a huge pay cut, unless LeBron takes a huge... And my thing is, why don't LeBron's a billionaire, bro? Why not take a crazy pay cut and you can bring in Kyrie with no problem? I don't understand why. That's the weird thing to me. But it is what it is, stay out of people's pockets. But I do think, if LeBron were smart, he would definitely take a crazy pay cut and go ahead and bring in who he really wants to play with. But it is what it is. Next thing I want to touch on before I get out of here is Marc Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, excuse me. Those two guys, basketball legends, both former coaches, coach greats. Van Gundy had Ewing in the Knicks years ago. Marc Jackson came to fame as a coach, coaching Steph Curry and Klay Thompson for the Warriors prior to them winning all those titles. But they are some of the worst color commentators I've ever seen. I'm not going to lie to you. Like I said, they know more basketball than I'll ever know. So much respect to them there. But they called that Nuggets and Lakers series terribly. And they couldn't hide. For me personally, it seems like all the older guys, especially since Bron broke the record, kind of come out their shell of being a semi-Bron hater. And Jeff Van Gundy was the top of the list this past series. These 4 games, I think he was on 3 to 4 games. I think one game was on ABC. if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he definitely, wanted Bron to do guard Murray, guard Jokic. I'm like, LeBron is 38 years old. He's clearly, and I've been saying this since my prediction video in the Grizzlies versus Lakers series. LeBron has to time himself, has to pick his spots, when to be explosive, when to, be aggressive. He can't do what he used to do when he was 28 years old. We all know this. It doesn't make sense to ask for, a guy of his age, of his mileage on his legs and on his body to stand in front of a young prime Jamal Murray, to stand in front of and try to shut down a young prime best player in the world, Jokic. It doesn't sound smart. It doesn't make sense. And why would you even ask for him to do something like that at his advanced age? It doesn't make sense. So, to me personally, I think there's some LeBron hate coming out. LeBron scored 31 points last night in the first half. Looked fantastic. Looked phenomenal. And the best thing Van Gundy said about it was, "Oh, he's been aggressive, but he's not doing it on both sides of the ball. You got to pick one. He's not 28 years old anymore. He's 38. You can't do both. He's not prime LeBron. He can shut down Derrick Rose back in the day, and still give you 30. That's not possible. So that's the weird thing to me. They didn't really acknowledge his greatness as far as him, playing great. They really just looked at his defensive numbers and his defensive tape, and was saying how he could play better, which didn't make sense because he was carrying the load offensively. So that's just that there. On to the last topic. Heat versus Celtics. Heat up 3-0. The series should be over. And I've been saying this for the last 4 years now. Tatum and Brown should be gone. I looked crazy saying it last year. They went to the finals. They ended up losing. And this year just strengthens my case of saying they should be split up. There's no way in the world Brown should be around 25, 26. Tatum around the same age, 24, 25. I think he came in a year after Brown. Those guys should be running the East. No way in the world Tatum, who's a top 10 player, Brown not too far off, top 20, top 25, if you want to be a little strict on it. Those two guys should be running the East with no problem. They have a team that's fully healthy. Marcus Smart, Brogdon. They made Al Horford, Williams. They have good team. The same team from last year, basically. They upgraded. They brought in Brogdon. They have Derek White, who I love as a nice versatile weapon. And they're struggling to play the Miami Heat, led by Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and undrafted players. And don't get me wrong, undrafted guys, they don't mean they're not talented. So I'm not saying they're not talented, but you're playing against 2 6'7", 6'8" wings in Brown and Tatum who are monsters, but aren't playing like it. And that's the weird thing about it. So I've been on this bandwagon for a while now. I used to scream on my podcast years ago when I was doing this when I first started YouTube. They got to fire Brad Stevens. They didn't fire him. They moved him up to a different position, but he's finally gone. Now, I've been saying for a while too. Go back for a little second. Fire Brad Stevens and their old GM, team president. I forgot his name now. He with the Jazz. What's his name? Danny Ainge. I just say that for the top of my lungs. I just scream it in my podcast years ago. Fire Danny Ainge, fire Brad Stevens. They got to go. Danny Ainge is gone, obviously, and Brad Stevens is up in the team president or up somewhere in the front office. So now on to the players. They have no excuse. This team should run shot through the East with their talent, and they're not doing that. So I've been on it for a while now. I'm going to stick to it. It probably won't happen, because Brown is eligible for that big max contract now. So, it probably won't happen. But there has been some rumors about Brown having a burner account because they found some account. I forgot the name of it. I think it was, I don't want to say the wrong name, but they found something that was kind of giving Brown props and saying Brown should, and the way the account was speaking, it was like, you have some inside information, just the way it was saying it, but you never know. But people think they found Brown's burner account, and it was saying Brown wants to be traded to maybe Atlanta, where he's from. He likes the Hawks. He likes Trae Young. So and that move would make sense. It would make sense. Trade Murray, DeJounte Murray, and whoever else, and try to bring in Brown. That does make sense. And I've been saying for a while now, Jaylen Brown needs his Harden, his Harden moment, his Harden team. And I think, being the man with Trae Young, to me makes sense. Trae Young needs a top level, top chef wing, and Brown, in theory, could be that 3-and-D guy. Great offensively, great shot, great inside, great mid range, long, tall, big, strong. He has everything. Him and Tatum both have everything, but they're getting dominated, and that's the weird thing about it, So I'm not going to rant. I'm already past my limit. I said it's 15 to 20 minutes. I'm at 25, going 26 now. So, but that's it for the video, guys. All in all, the Nuggets should win the title. Bron, if he retires, I wouldn't be shocked. And I think it will have to do something with Bronny and his foot. I think Bronny and his foot could cause Bron to retire. D'Lo could stay with the Lakers if even if LeBron stays or goes. D'Lo could be with the Lakers still. If the Lakers do trade D'Lo, I would like the Bulls to get him, and then the Lakers get back Zach LaVine. Kyrie seems interesting, but no. Trae Young, they don't have enough to trade for him, and Dame, no. Dame is probably staying still. They'll probably bring a star player to Dame finally. And I don't know who, but that could be possible. Celtics Heat series, Heat should win it, finish it tonight. I think the game should be tonight Tuesday. And if the Celtics do get swept, I would love for them to break up Brown and Tatum, try something new, try something different, and give both them guys their own team. I would love to see that. So that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.